Welcome to Desire. We luxuriate in the latest menswear collection of Louis Vuitton and rub shoulders with Hollywood's A-list. We take a drive through the past in a historic Bugatti and savor a taste of movie history. But first, it's just about everybody's dream to uncover some priceless treasure lurking amongst the bric-a-brac in a dark and dingy flea market. And that dream came true for one British holidaymaker who discovered a lost collection of Beatles memorabilia, reported to be worth hundreds of thousands of pounds. The man, Fraser Claughton from Kent, was browsing at a flea market in Australia when he found a battered suitcase containing photographs, records and concert programmes. More importantly, though, there was a reel-to-reel tape marked Abbey Road, not for release. Claughton's friend John Reed in the UK told him to bring the suitcase home and they would examine it more closely. Experts believe the collection is the lost Mal Evans archive, originally belonging to the Beatles' roadie and sound recordist. Evans was killed by police in Los Angeles in 1976 after he'd brandished a fake gun. The contents of the suitcase were lost during the police investigation.
I was just browsing there and I looked at it. I noticed it was sort of half open, had some pictures in it, and I just came to an agreement that I have the suitcase full of all its contents for $50 it was, which equates to about £20 sterling.
Not a bad buy.
So it's yeah. Well, I thought it was expensive at the time, but when I've came home and seen the true potential of it all, it's pretty amazing really. I'm still totally sort of dumbfounded by the whole thing.
Okay, the events were, first of all, Fraser rung me from Australia and said, "You'll never believe this, bought an old tatty case, you're into more photographs than myself, it's full of the Beatles, load of old," basically said junk. And I said, well, it's not junk, whatever happens, shut the case up, take it back into our country, we'll open it up together and have a look. When I actually opened the suitcase, I was absolutely amazed. I said, we've hit on something here which it hasn't been seen for years.
Claughton paid around £20 for the whole collection, but if it's genuine, it could be worth hundreds of thousands of pounds. Reed said that when he first heard the tape, he cried. It sounded so fresh.
Still playing in the mouth?
Yeah,
Claughton can sell the pictures as memorabilia, but he cannot reproduce them. Apple have been checking whether the reel-to-reel tape is authentic. If they are, the tourist may just have found himself a gold mine in a flea market. The Millionaire Fair has had its French debut in the Riviera resort town of Cannes in the south of France. Publishing company Giajath Media Group launched the idea of organising the Millionaire Fair with the aim of bringing together Millionaire magazine's readers and advertisers, as well as the top names of the luxury goods industry, in an event with the theme The Luxury Lifestyle. Former James Bond girl Miss Diamond was rather taken by a child-sized Mercedes.
I have only just arrived and I think it's absolutely fantastic. I love it. You know, if I had a place for the car, I would buy it.
Benno Lisa, president of Dutch diamond company Gassan, was at the fair to show off his company's sparkling assets.
We have the Gassan 121, what means a diamond with 121 facets. We have named it Gassan 121. It's clear it's our company together with a number of facets. And it has much more brilliancy than a normal brilliant. We have patented for the whole world. And for the moment we started with selling it on the Millionaire Fair in Amsterdam last year. And we are very successful with it. We get a lot of demands out of China and even out of America.
One of the highlights of the Cannes show was the sale of what's believed to be the world's most expensive cell phone, produced by the Swiss company Goldfish. Speaking on behalf of the company, Gregor Snip, chairman of Goldfish, was very proud of the phone.
Well, this is the Goldfish piece unique. It's only been made in the world 3 pieces. And this is the most expensive and exclusive cell phone in the world. The price is €1 million. And Today at 4 o'clock we have our client picking up the phone, and this will be also marked with the official certificate of the Guinness Book of Records as the most expensive cell phone ever sold in the world.
The man brave enough to part with $1.2 million for the handheld device was Russian businessman Ilgo Rustamov.
I came to receive this mobile phone, this luxury communication device, I should say, who was purchased by a friend for his wife, and I'm here on his behalf to accept this phone today. Cheers!
If diamond-encrusted mobile phones don't tickle your fancy, other luxury items on sale at this year's event included art and antiquities, and automotive and aviation products, including private jets and helicopters. Millionaire Fair is billed as the only event in the world that welcomes those who enjoy luxury in an atmosphere of wealth, glitter and glamour. One desirable item not up for grabs at the Millionaire Fair was an oak and glass table by an Italian designer, which sold for a stunning $3.8 million at Christie's in New York, doubling the previous auction record for 20th century furniture. The piece, made by Carlo Mellino in 1949, was given an estimate of just $150,000.
The total price for this piece, including our premium, was $3,842,000 US, which now currently stands as the world record for any piece of 20th century furniture, eclipsing the previous record, which was set by Christie's in 2000 of $1.8 million approximately for a Rollman desk.
Mellino was one of a handful of highly revered designers whose production was relatively limited. He made this table to be part of an exhibition, but in fact, it was never shown.
This table has a really organic sense of architecture to it, and it's almost like the skeleton of a beached whale, if you will, or it's like like the skeleton of an animal.
In response to whether any table, especially this simple Mellino, is worth almost $4 million, Holderman said there are finer points to be appreciated about the piece.
While this may appear to be a very non-complex design to an ordinary eye, one might make a comparison between this and a painting by Mondrian. It's not what you first see that looks to be complex, but actually it's everything that went into it.
The table is 29 inches high, 62 inches long and 34 inches wide. That makes it nearly $2,000 per square inch. Coming up next, Louis Vuitton. For more than 100 years, the name Louis Vuitton has been world famous for its luxury travel goods and accessories. The iconic monogram canvas is considered the very first designer label to
beautiful combinations. I mean, some cotton fabrics that looked like techno fabrics, some actual silks that were, you know, again, quite technical, but actually silk. Some beautiful alpacas that looked kind of like teddy bears, like furs, but they were alpacas and mohairs, and some touches of fur and sheepskin, glazed cottons, different things. But yeah, very, again, a lot of restraint, very specific fabrication choices, very specific color palette of blacks and grays and stones, beiges.
For the highly label-conscious, large LV monochrome logos were carefully placed on the breast of waistcoats, on the back of selected coats, and of course on the accessories and bags.
There were very specific and I would say considered choices made in every proportion cut. Some of the jackets were like kind of inside out, and so there was a label apparent or a logo apparent. There was little enamel pins. I mean, there were many touches and details, some more clear to see. I mean, some of them you probably wouldn't even see if you were sitting right there, but they were all there because those are the things that we feel make our clothes luxurious.
Something a little less this season, but no less luxurious, is the black dress worn by Audrey Hepburn during the opening scene of the movie Breakfast at Tiffany's, which was unveiled in New York ahead of auction.
Fabulous work for UNICEF. So the dress, it's certainly one of the most iconic moments in film history, that scene outside Tiffany's in the early hours of the morning with Holly Golightly eating out of a paper bag. It's up there in important moments in cinematic history, with Marilyn Monroe standing over the subway grate in the 7-year It.
The dress, designed by French designer Hubert de Givenchy for the film in 1961, was modelled for the media at Tiffany & Company's flagship store in New York, where Hepburn wore the dress in the actual movie. Christie's spokesperson Helen Bailey said the dress is one of 3 designed by Givenchy for the film. The dress was donated in support of the charity City of Joy Aid to raise money for the impoverished in India. The estimated value of the dress is between $94,000 and $132,000.
Dresses are still around today. According to Givenchy, this was not the one worn in the film, but there are 3 dresses. One is in the Costume Museum in Madrid, and one is in Givenchy's own personal archives in Paris. This is the only dress that will ever come on the market, and we at Christie's are truly excited and very honoured. The dress has been donated and is being sold on behalf of City of Joy Aid. City of Joy Aid is a charity that was started by a gentleman called Dominic Lapierre. He actually worked in the slums of Calcutta with Mother Teresa and was inspired to set up his charity, which raises money for families living in poverty in the slums in India. So we're very honoured as well that Givenchy has donated it for this worthy cause, and he feels that that is truly in the spirit of Audrey Hepburn herself after her fabulous work for UNICEF.
The daughter of a Dutch aristocrat and descended from French nobility, Audrey Hepburn grew up under Nazi rule during the Second World War. Proficient as a ballet dancer, she secretly danced for people in private to raise money for resistance groups. Too tall to become a ballerina, she moved to acting, and her starring role alongside Gregory Peck in Roman Holiday confirmed her as a star. Breakfast at Tiffany's, My Fair Lady, and a string of successes followed. But she turned her back on her career in the 1970s to serve as a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador. Despite her early retirement, she's ranked by the American Film Institute as the 3rd greatest female film star of all time. Coming up, the Governor's Ball. One of the most glamorous events on the celebrity calendar sees Hollywood's hottest stars rubbing shoulders at the annual post-Oscars Governor's Ball, appropriately hosted by former Hollywood heavyweight turned politician Arnold Schwarzenegger. The Governor's Ball is considered the official party following the Oscars, and the night's big winners and nominees are all expected to make an appearance. Those attending the party are served a gourmet meal supplied by celebrity chef Wolfgang Puck. For the past 12 years, Wolfgang and his team of chefs and pastry chefs have been treating guests to a multi-course sit-down dinner at the Governor's Ball in the Hollywood and Highland complex. The menu is traditionally a culinary interpretation of the evening's themes, with both classic favourites like smoked salmon and caviar pizza and new innovative dishes. Winners attending the ball included British animation guru Steve Box of Wallace & Gromit fame, along with Uber producer and director Steven Spielberg. Jessica Alba, star of Dark Angel and Sin City, also lent her celebrity power to the occasion, appropriately dressed in gold. Rap artist Ludacris also came in his penguin suit, as did documentary filmmaker Luc Jacquet, who directed the award-winning March of the Penguins. Holding court in the foyer was superstar actress, singer and clothes designer Jennifer Lopez, whose publicity agent was once quoted as saying, "J-Lo is not a person, it's a movement." Some of the Oscar nominees on hand to drown their sorrows included Joaquin Phoenix, Judi Dench and Paul Giamatti. 40-year-old Virgin star Steve Carell was also hoping to get lucky, as Hollywood's famous faces got set to party through the night. It's a long way from contemporary Formula One machines, but the cars and the men who drove them performed feats perhaps even more heroic, with what now appears to be such rudimentary equipment. At Monaco in 1929, the Italian marque of Bugatti was dominant.
What we've got is a 1928 Bugatti Type 35 Grand Prix car. So Bugattis are pretty much about as good as you get. The 35B was really the most glamorous of all the Bugatti Grand Prix cars, and this one in particular ran in the inaugural Monaco Grand Prix in 1929. That's important. Even more so is the fact that it won.
Adding to the glamour was the identity of the British driver. William Grover Williams was based in France and raced simply as Williams. He beat the German ace Rudi Caracciola in a Mercedes. But Williams's later life was even more eventful.
It was just under a year old, and Bugatti painted it green, as was the want in those days, that it used to race in the colours of the driver. So a Bugatti being green was really quite interesting. And he entered and obviously won the race. And then in later years, he was a secret service agent, and working in France, he was captured by the Gestapo and unfortunately executed.
The next racing owner was a Frenchman, René Dreyfus, before being sold into private ownership. Though its racing days were over, the Bugatti continued to exert its attraction. Nice in southern France was its home until a change of circumstances.
During the Second World War, it was laid up and with a wine merchant, and in 1950 he got into financial difficulties and there was a bankruptcy sale, and the present vendor, so we're talking about ownership of over 55 odd years or so, acquired the car for 120 francs in this bankruptcy sale, and the story goes that it had a full tank of petrol and he sold the tank of petrol for about 120 francs.
For the past decade, it's been on show in the late Prince Rainier's Motor Museum in Monaco. It has left France for the first time to be auctioned at the Bonhams Goodwood Revival Sale. If you're looking for something a little more exotic to get around in, how about one of these? The automated rickshaw provides a chauffeur-driven transport at an affordable price and is becoming an extremely popular mode of transportation in scores of Indian towns and cities. But one enterprising auto driver has made a few luxurious modifications to his vehicle that offers commuters the comforts of a television. There's also air conditioning and a DVD player. There's a private telephone, as well as some chilled beverages, and even the daily newspapers. And except the goodies that you buy from the vehicle, everything comes free. The auto is the brainchild of a rickshaw driver in central Indore city, who's put his life savings into providing comfort and convenience to his customers. Ever since I've been driving a rickshaw, I've had the desire to do it up. When I had the money, I bought a new vehicle, put in facilities for my customers, like a phone, a TV, a CD player, magazines, etc. Raj Kumar Kaushal has so far spent more than $400 on his pet project. For Kaushal's customers, a ride in his auto ensures they travel like a king. The auto is usually very useful in traffic jams. I wanted to make an urgent call, and his auto had the facility of a phone. I was easily able to make my call. I really liked it. Kaushal also provides what he calls the Auto On Call facility, which allows customers to make calls to his mobile phone and avail themselves of his services at any time, any place. Next time on A Very Vintage Desire, we sample a presidential selection of wines and take a ride in the ultimate antique car. We dream of luxury travel from days gone by, then snap to the present with a self-parking car.